You check your phone to see the time. 10 minutes later, you're still scrolling. You don't even remember what you were looking for. You tell yourself you'll eat clean tomorrow. But tonight, you order junk food again. You promise yourself you'll finish that project early. But somehow, you open YouTube just for 5 minutes. 3 hours disappear. Here's the truth nobody tells you. This isn't about willpower. It isn't about being lazy. Your brain is running a program, and that program is called dopamine. And once you understand how it actually works, you'll never look at your phone, your food, or your habits the same way again. Let's start with the biggest myth. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical, the chemical that makes you feel good. That's wrong. Dopamine isn't about pleasure. It's about wanting. It's the chemical of craving, not satisfaction. Here's the experiment that proved it. Scientists hooked rats up to a lever connected to their brain's dopamine system. Every time the rat pressed the lever, it got a hit of dopamine. Not food, not water, just dopamine. The rats pressed that lever again and again, choosing it over food, over water, over sleep, until some of them collapsed from exhaustion. They weren't pressing it because it felt good. They were pressing it because they couldn't stop wanting to. That's the trap. Dopamine doesn't reward you for getting something. It rewards you for chasing something. Now here's where it gets interesting. Your brain doesn't release the same amount of dopamine every time. If a reward is predictable, same time, same amount, your brain gets used to it and stops caring as much. But if a reward is unpredictable, dopamine spikes even higher. This is exactly how slot machines work. You don't win every time you pull the lever. Sometimes you win small. Sometimes you win nothing. Sometimes you hit big. That unpredictability is what makes gambling so addictive, not the money, the uncertainty. Now think about your phone. Every time you refresh Instagram, you don't know what you'll see. Maybe a boring post. Maybe something hilarious. Maybe nothing at all. Every time you check your messages, you don't know if it's good news or nothing. Every swipe on TikTok or YouTube Shorts is a tiny gamble, and your brain treats it exactly like one. Tech companies know this. The infinite scroll, the autoplay, the red notification dot, these weren't designed by accident. They were engineered by teams who studied casino psychology and applied it directly to apps. Every uncertain reward keeps your dopamine system on edge, waiting, craving, refreshing. So why does this matter for your daily life? Because the same system controls every habit you have, good or bad. Let's talk about junk food. Sugar and fat don't just taste good. They trigger one of the largest dopamine spikes your brain can produce naturally. Your brain remembers that spike. So the next time you're stressed, bored, or tired, your brain doesn't ask for comfort. It asks for that specific dopamine hit, and food becomes the fastest way to get it. This is why willpower alone fails. You're not fighting a craving for pizza. You're fighting a chemical signal that's been reinforced hundreds, maybe thousands of times. Here's the part that changes everything. Dopamine isn't your enemy. It's not something you need to eliminate. It's something you need to redirect. Your brain doesn't care if the reward comes from scrolling Instagram or finishing a workout. It only cares about the anticipation of reward, which means you can train your dopamine system to crave good habits the exact same way it craves bad ones. Here's how that works in practice. First, make the reward immediate. Your brain ignores rewards that are far away. Exercise will make you healthier in 6 months, means almost nothing to your dopamine system. But if you play your favorite playlist only while working out, your brain starts associating exercise with an immediate reward, the music, not the distant result. Over weeks, the workout itself starts releasing dopamine because your brain has linked it to something it already craves. Second, break predictability on purpose. Remember, uncertainty spikes dopamine. Apps use this against you. You can use it for yourself. Vary your workouts. Try a new healthy recipe each week. Turn studying into a small game with random rewards. When your brain doesn't know exactly what's coming, it pays more attention and stays more engaged. Third, remove the cues for bad habits. Dopamine needs a trigger to fire. No trigger, weaker craving. If your phone is on the nightstand, you'll check it before sleep. If junk food is visible on the counter, you'll eat it without thinking. Move the phone to another room. Put healthy snacks at eye level instead. You're not relying on discipline. You're starving the trigger. Fourth, and this is the one almost nobody talks about, give yourself a dopamine detox. Not by deleting every app forever, but by deliberately spending a few hours or even a full day without high stimulation rewards. No social media, no junk food, no random videos. At first, this feels uncomfortable, almost boring. That discomfort is your dopamine baseline resetting. After a detox period, normal activities, a walk, a conversation, a book, start to feel rewarding again because your brain isn't comparing them to the artificial high of infinite scroll. This is why people who take social media breaks often say the same thing. I forgot how good it feels to just be bored for a minute. That's not a coincidence. That's a recalibrated dopamine system. Now let's bring this back to identity, because this is where real change happens. Every time you give in to the trap, the scroll, the snack, the snooze button, you're not just losing 5 minutes or 200 calories. You're reinforcing a loop that tells your brain, this is who we are now. And every time you redirect that craving toward a walk, a page of a book, 5 minutes of focused work, you're reinforcing a different loop. This is who we are now. You don't need more motivation. Motivation was never the missing piece. What you need is to understand the system running underneath your decisions. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. The next time you feel the urge to check your phone for no reason, pause for 1 second and ask yourself, is this wanting, or is this actually going to make me feel good? Most of the time, you'll already know the answer, because in the end, you're not weak. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just running on a system that was built for survival thousands of years ago and got hijacked by apps built in the last 15. Now that you know how the trap works, the question is simple. Are you going to keep feeding it? Or are you going to start redirecting it? One small habit at a time? If this helped you understand your own brain a little better, subscribe. Because next time, we're going deeper into the hidden psychology shaping your everyday decisions.